2:30 in the morning and I get a text from my friend. She said, I need you right now, and I already knew what that meant. See, me and this girl, we think alike. Too many phone calls spent for me to know she's thinking about her life and how it's gonna end.
For this first win, I'd just like to point out how incredible the color palette of this video is. When we're on a scene of Crypt's friend popping pills or drinking, these super vibrant LED colors are lighting up the room, giving off that party type vibe. But when we see a shot of Crypt, the colors are darker and more drab, representing his concern and fear that his friend is going to die, and it all works really well. Also, before we really hop into the song itself, I'd just like to point out Crypt's amazing storytelling ability in this track, because he paints such a vivid picture of the situation in your mind, even without the video.
See, on the outside we're happy, and we show it to the world, and we put on this fake exterior so the truth won't unfurl, but I know who she is.
This line is phenomenal, cause depression isn't just feeling and acting sad, it's so much more than that. I've heard that it's basically an enveloping feeling that often doesn't even show on your exterior, but you just can't shake it on the inside.
Cause it's like looking in a mirror, all these smiles and cries for help, and it couldn't be any clearer.
That is a great line too, cause he mentioned how she's smiling, but the cries for help are completely clear to him even if nobody else can see it.
We're 9 hours apart, but I'm seconds from losing her.
Holy shit. First, that line was incredible, talking about how they live too far apart for him to actually drive to her house to comfort her, cause he's afraid that by the time he would get there, she'd be dead already. Second, I really should have said this up front, but I've never had anything like this happen to me, so I just want to preface that I really can't possibly even come close to understanding this situation. But, you know, I'm just gonna basically be speaking from what I do know, even though it's very limited.
Told her, listen to my breaths, I'm right here, please breathe, you got so much left to do, stay here, don't leave.
Crypt honestly seems like such a great friend, at least from my perspective. He just strikes me as the type of guy who actually understands your pain regardless of what it is, and he'll be there for you.
I called her back quick, just hoping I'd hear hello, but I just kept getting met with the sounds of those dial tones. I froze. What do you do in that moment? Do you call the police, or do you hope that she's over it?
That is probably one of the most difficult situations you could possibly find yourself in. Do they call the cops? And if you do, what are they going to be able to do about it? Do you just let it go and run the risk of feeling responsible for her death? It's horrible.
Get a hold of her parents and tell them the situation, just so they can pull her from college and end her aspirations. Leave it alone and hope it was just an escapade. Pray from a text from her in the morning saying that she's okay.
Exactly. It's not just a simple choice. Every avenue has its own risks and negative possibilities, and you have to be extremely careful about what you do in that moment. It's scary because you end up feeling responsible.
She never told no one about this depression she dealt with, and who was I to air out her secrets? That would be selfish.
And that's another problem. Is it crossing the line to tell other people about her issues? 'Cause that is her business, but at the same time, her life could be in danger.
My heart broke. She downed a bottle of pills. She took them shortly after our call ended, and it felt surreal. She was a friend of many, a student athlete at a school, a daughter, a sister, a very special jewel.
Again, I've never had anything even remotely similar to this happen to me, but I know for a fact that plenty of other people have, cause depression is unfortunately very common, and this song presents a relatable situation for people who have dealt with something like this.
Only 22 years old, an entire life in front of her, and now she's laying there cold.
Those are the types of thoughts that must go through your head when you see your friend dead or dying. They're missing out on so much, and you'll never do anything with them again. It's heartbreaking.
But that's not what happened, cause instead of going to bed, I called every person I knew to check to make sure you weren't dead. I stayed up 7 hours praying every second of it, just hoping to get a text saying that you weren't heaven sent.
And to be completely honest, I personally think that's the right decision. I don't care if it's a breach of your trust. If your life is possibly at stake, I'm going all out. Also, I feel like this backs up what I said earlier about Crypt just being a really great guy, how he would literally put himself in this awkward position if it meant having any chance of saving your life.
But then I got it. You told me that I had no right and blocked me on everything. We ain't talked since that night.
I can't even imagine what that's like. He tried to do the right thing, but that situation is more complicated than simply choosing the right path, cause like he says, you could still get blowback from doing that right thing.